been a while, hasn't it? What was the last time I talked to you directly? I mean, it wasn't the unboxing video that was this past week. The last vlog. Yee, that was like, what? That was E3, wasn't it? It's been over a month since then, so I guess I better catch up with you first. First of all, we have a blog. Rate Minion has a blog now. You can get to it just by typing in rateminion.com. Until the main website's open, that'll direct you directly to our Blogger account. So, and we also have a link down there somewhere. Second off, I showed you the unboxing video for Speed. I will have a review of that when the site actually launches. And finally, we've had some behind-the-scenes website work, but we have nothing really to show you this instant. Maybe the next vlog I'll have some sketches or whatnot. Since the blog began, I've been trying to post particularly one news article a day. And if I don't post a news article for a day, I tend to post one, two, maybe even 3 or 4 articles in a day, provided that I catch up, so to speak. Sometimes there just really is no news, just discussion and stuff between people and rumors and announcements of announcements. But we have a lot of news because we're covering a whole month in this video, and I want to tell you what happened in the month of July, in case you didn't pay attention. So let's get this over with, alright? First things first, May 2010 NPD Data came out, which is weird because it usually comes out in June. It was delayed past E3, so that kind of annoyed some companies, I'm sure. The big games were Red Dead Redemption and Super Mario Galaxy 2. There were huge sales amongst them all, with Red Dead Redemption being the biggest. Oh my gosh. Grand Theft Auto in Western world. Horizon Riders, it was announced from Sabarasa. Sabarasa is the developer of Save the Turtles, which was a DSiWare game, and Horizon Riders is a shooter akin to Sin and Punishment, coming out to WiiWare. Then we started the first full week of July, with the fact that Sega's not making Alpha Protocol 2 due to its slow sales. Rayman Origins, the first episode, it's an episodic game, is coming out for Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network at the end of this year. The Wii 3DS versions are still pending. We don't know if they're coming out at all, so keep an eye on that. Summer of Arcade was finally announced with the exact times and prices. Every game was going to be $15 with Limbo, then Hydro Thunder Hurricane, then Castlevania Harmony of Despair, then Monday Night Combat, and then ending with Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light. All $15 a piece, but if you buy 3, you get $5 back. If you buy all 5, you get 15. So if you have 4 games, you might as well just get the 5th because you're going to get it for free, essentially. B+, a small developer who's been working with WiiWare in the past, announced that they're working on a 3DS retail title, the title being called Vector Tank 3D Plus. They also revamped their entire website, and if you have Flash, you can view their 3D pictures, screenshots of the game. Also, the new cover of Game Informer was announced, and that game was Dragon Age 2, which was being developed for spring of 2011, which is interesting because Dragon Age came out last year, and we've seen pretty much 2 or 3 major expansion packs since then. So it's like a continual series of Dragon Age games. So if you're a fan of the series, nice. Next week we learned that Cavea had been sucked back into AQ Interactive, which it used to be, but then split off into its own publishing and development divisions. Cavea is known for the development of Drakengard and most recently Nier, which was about, I don't know what it's really about. It's so weird, but then that's the usual case for Cavea games. They're also known for developing the Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles and Darkside Chronicles games. ARES, which was the first place winner, not grand prize place winner, of Dream Build Play 2010, is coming to Xbox Live Arcade, PC, and Windows Phone 7. Woo! Pokemon Black and White information exploded in one particular instance. We learned that it was going to be 3 vs 3 in the game, and that you're going to be able to bring Pokemon into a dream world on the PC. There's plenty more information that came up besides that, but those are like some of the big tidbits. Double Fine is working double time. And 4 new projects are in the works. This has never been done before in Double Fine's work. For 4 projects, some of them are retail, some of them are downloadable, and 3 of them are based on the main team from Brutal Legend. Tim Schafer's probably working on the 4th. Atari is bringing old franchises to new platforms. They're bringing back Haunted House to Wii and Xbox Live Arcade this September. There's also the rumor that Centipede is coming as well, but we'll get confirmation of that in the future. Then the June NPD data came out, and there we learned that the Xbox 360 actually outsold the Wii for once. This is probably due to the fact that the new console version had been released immediately at E3, and in a fire sale of the old editions of the Xbox 360, many sales were made. Furthermore, Red Dead Redemption continued to be a high seller, as did Super Mario Galaxy 2. What surprised many is that Toy Story 3's DS game and the Wii version of Harry Potter, years 1 through 4, the Lego version, mind, all sold in the top 10. Finally, Mega Man Universe was announced by Capcom. Unfortunately, no video game footage or major game description was announced. In fact, all we got was a teaser trailer which seemed to symbolize some sort of Little Big Planet-esque world with old franchises and Mega Man being the main focus. Could be good, could be bad, I don't know. The next week we saw Alice Madness Returns being pushed off by EA during one of their conferences. Alice Madness Returns takes place about 10 years after the first one, in which Alice is currently undergoing some more mental struggle. And, needless to say, Wonderland is in a big world of hurt. Dark Spore was announced, essentially a Diablo game meeting Spore characters. You start with 3 characters and you can build upon them using Spore-like tactics, using DNA as your monetary source. Then ComicCon came. ComicCon was the big event of the month, so to speak. That and Nintendo starting its whole tour around the country sort of deal. In this particular aspect, we learned of 6 characters for Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and Bungie held a big conference for Halo Reach, in which they included a new Halo Reach console, which essentially is the Xbox 360 new model, but with new decals and 2 controllers, and probably Halo Reach with it. Halo Reach will also apparently have a brand new Forge world, as opposed to a Forge mode. In this Forge world, a huge, epic, multi-map sized map is allowed for people to build these worlds on and allow clipping of graphics so that people can actually create intricate designs so long as, they use the world that they're given. Then we know that there was a Green Lantern game being made for the movie that's coming out next year, so keep a look at that. And we got confirmation of the Kinect pricing. The Kinect will cost $150 and will be bundled with Kinect Adventures. Along with that, there will be a new Xbox 360, which is 4 GB flash, and will cost $200. Together, the two will have a bundle, Kinect and the 4 GB system, together for $300. Pretty good deal if you don't have an Xbox 360 already. Then, the big one, Street Fighter cross Tekken and Tekken cross Street Fighter. 2 crossover fighters developed by their respective developers, bringing in characters from each other's franchises and pulling them into each other's. Street Fighter Cross Tekken will have you play as Tekken and Street Fighter characters in Street Fighter territory, whereas Tekken Cross Street Fighter will have the exact opposite. Street Fighter characters pulled into Tekken's world. Both games are expected to come out in sometime 2011, but without a concrete release date, I'm expecting a late 2011 at the earliest. 2 major casual game providers were purchased this past week. One was Congregate, announced to be purchased by GameStop, and then Playdom, provider of Facebook games, was purchased by Disney for $500 million. That's quite a big feat. It just goes to show how big casual gaming and flash gaming have become. Line Attack Heroes, which was shown off at E3 2009 by Nintendo, is now no longer retail. The game is actually a full-fledged WiiWare title and has now been released in Japan. The game was developed by Grizzo, a new developer which is headed up by the main director of the Mana series, who left Square Enix not too long ago. Majesco and South Peak Interactive are fighting over one particularly odd franchise, My Baby. The third My Baby game is being published by Majesco, even though the previous games were published by South Peak Interactive. Apparently the main French developer has given the rights to Majesco, and South Peak is making quite a stink about it. Realtime Worlds announced a project that does not have a publisher yet, Project My World. Giving you the whole globe to work upon. You build your city around where you are. Then you can invite your friends to go into those worlds, and then proceed to build worlds, sell properties, buy properties, keep tabs of each other through Twitter and Facebook, and be able to play games in those worlds physically. And finally, Digital Leisure announced that they're going to work with Destinaire to bring Dragon's Lair Trilogy to the Wii. Now, it's not so much 3 games in the series. They show the first 2 Dragon's Lair games, and then they also have Space Ace. This game will also include the ability to change between widescreen and normal screen, and allow you some beginner's mode to give you a guide of what to do, as well as an actual watch mode, where you can actually sit back and just watch the game play itself, which is interesting for people who simply don't feel like playing a few hours of QuickTime events, or however long the game is. So July's out of the way. What does that leave for August 2010? Well, to be honest, not a whole lot for actual game news. There's no major conference happening this month from my knowledge. Tokyo Game Show is next month, and Nintendo's not having a major press conference till next month, or the month after. Give me your opinions of July 2010 news and otherwise. Or if you just want to keep leaving comments, feel free to, because, this is a free world. I'm not going to, kill you or anything for it. Get off my lawn!